Swanee, see if you look just down to my right there, do you see my wee disco Santa by the fire? It's now officially Christmas time and Hearts have just gone to Celtic Park and got a win. Can we now say that Hearts are involved in a title race?
Yes. I think we can. But still no Christmas, Keith. Come on. You can have a trophy on Boxing Day. Listen. Yes, I'm sure we'll get into it in some depth. But I think if anybody, I think today was a real big day. Listen, we're going to get into it, as I say, but today was a big day in terms of the next steps in the season, I think. Absolutely. For everybody, I think if Celtic go and win the game comfortably today and Hearts take a defeat and all of a sudden Celtic are 3 clear with a game in hand, you're kind of thinking, already looking dodgy now. I mean, you have to remember Celtic have still got a game in hand, but a massive day just in terms of belief for Hearts and what it does for them. So, we'll get into it. So, charge on, boys. Hit me with what you've got.
Completely agree, Swanee. If Celtic win that one today, it just feels like you're watching the same old Christmas movie and you know how it ends. So I think for Hearts to go there, that was a statement result, a statement win, and I think it really throws the gauntlet back down. And I did say going into this game, I felt that Hearts had been, maybe distracted by the fact that they were looking down from the top for such a long time and at one point being so high up. I just felt this was an obvious game for them just to get all that stuff out of the side view mirrors, if you like, and concentrate in the game of football in front of them. And they did it. And I have to say, tactically, absolutely superb. That was Del Mciness and his textbook rope-a-dope way of performing and winning games against the big two. And do you know something? Well, I'm sure we'll come into it, Daniel. There's a really bad start for Wilfred Nosey because I think he was completely outmanoeuvred by the man in the opposing dugout today.
Well, first on that, I want, Swanee, what's your thoughts on Wilfred Nosey changing the formation? He'd been in the door 2 days. On the show last week, I said, I think it was to Ryan McDonald, that I'd be really surprised if he tried that. But he did, and I mean, obviously it didn't really come off.
I mean, there's 2 or 3 aspects to this whole thing. To answer sort of the first part of your question, am I surprised he did it? Yes. Given the fact that Celtic had been winning games, we're on a run of form, and this was such a big game, so I'm surprised from that point of view. On the other hand, I understand new managers coming in, they have their system, that's what they want to do, that's it, that's the way I play it, and I'm going to impart it immediately. I'm going to put it onto the team immediately, because the quicker I do it, the quicker I get my ideas across. So I can see both sides of it. I thought it was a risk. It was a risk, but the result tells you it didn't pay off. And Celtic were good for 40 minutes. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, good intensity in the game. They got things right in terms of their tempo and the way they got after, the way they got the ball back. They were good at that. They hunted in packs and they won the ball back. But you could just see with the patterns of play, there was little moments where people were kind of stopping on the ball and kind of pointing and looking and just not quite sure. And it's going to take time for things like that to bed in. And I think Wilfred, I know Wilfred Nancy said after the game, it's not about systems, it's not about that type of thing. So it's about players. But if you're asking me, on one hand, I'm surprised he did it. I certainly wouldn't have done it, but then again, I'm not the Celtic manager. He's clearly wanted to try and impart his ways very quickly on it, but it was a risk. It was a risk given the fact that Celtic have been racking up results. Yeah, it was a risk to do it, and and whatever you say about how they played for the first until Claudio Braga scored, even you could say doesn't matter. None of that matters. Hearts have won, and in the second half, Hearts had it under complete control. I think that was the most surprising aspect for me, that Celtic just didn't really seem to have any sort of response, or whether that's players, tactics, whatever way you want. Hearts were completely controlled after the interval. They just looked as though they were handling everything with a minimum stress, to be honest.